What is up, good people of Earth? It is me, Mikey from Immortals Inc., and here is the Immortals Inc. podcast, which you have made us partner with YouTube, so thank you, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. Secondly, if you know it's me talking, you know that Carlos isn't here, so I got my main man, Jeremiah, with me again today.
What is up?
What up? And if you don't know, if you're a real fan of the podcast, we did a podcast some months ago. Was it like a year ago?
Just under a year ago, I think.
That's crazy.
Just under a year.
Time flies. But we talked about the creation and opening of his TCG, Charmakards, which was a biblically based trading card game.
Right.
Now, you came in like a couple months ago, and I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. Didn't age a bit. But
Thanks.
Was in the it's funny, when he first came and saw me, he was like, it was like the craziest story of how he got here. He's stranded in the middle of nowhere and like had a, was lost on his motorcycle.
Yeah, in the rain, in a storm, tornado warnings.
Random person's house.
Porch. Yep, slept out on somebody's porch.
But then he made it here the following, this like hours after.
Yep.
Just for the pre-release of Charmakards.
Yep.
Now, it didn't go to your expectations, right?
No, it didn't really. I didn't prepare well for it, and I honestly just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I just was excited, Yeah,
and humbly so. Like, I feel like that's every entrepreneur's aspect on first opening a business or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've come here to announce that you've rebranded.
Yeah.
And you have completely resurfaced Charmakards into something that you now call
Cornovum.
So I'm gonna give the mic to you. Just talk about what inspiration led behind the rebranding and kind of what the gist of the game is and how you'd explain it to a fifth grader.
Okay. Yeah, so I rebranded the name because I really wanted a fresh start on what was going on. People loved the game.
Yeah.
The game played well. People liked the themes. People liked that it was somewhat contradictory, that it was biblical and non-religious, and that was like the coolest thing. Because a lot of the players know nothing or care nothing about Bible-based Christian Catholic things, but the gameplay was what got them in. But I didn't know what I was doing as far as like business stuff, and I wanted to buckle down and really do this real and the right way. Get all the artwork updated because I did all the artwork myself.
Yes, we'll get on that.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm going to rebrand this. I'm going to give it a fresh new name, fresh new taste. The game's going to be the same, but I got like a rules and wording committee set up, and I got some business partners and different legal team to help me make sure everything's going exactly where I want it. So this can be the game everyone wants it to be and actually be available for all the people who want to play it.
I can already tell from the vibe that you've given from this reconstruction, rebranding, that it's coming for sure. And explain Cornovum. Like, what is that? Like, where'd you get that rebranding from? Where did you get that word from? What does that word mean?
So Cornovum is actually Latin for new heart. And it has like a theological idea for like Christians and Catholics and things. But I liked the idea of having a fresh new start with it. And being a game that brings about a new type of mechanical gameplay and maybe a new way to view how we play trading card games. Because it's been like super accessible for people who don't generally play trading card games. They like board games better. Yeah. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to have this fresh, new heart, new look on what a TCG really is. That's
literally what I've seen, especially just with the art itself. I'm going to touch on that, like I said, but just the rebranding in general, because I remember that you said it was Latin, right?
Yeah, Latin.
You said you start with 25 cards, right?
Yeah.
25 card decks, and you're mostly structured around decks, right? Like the play, like the play itself, you want to start with a deck rather than going and getting booster packs or getting loose cards and putting together something. You actually have that ready to go for people.
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to try to just like reach everybody and overdo, trying to make everybody please, so to speak. But it really does fit the heart behind a living card game, and having a consistent resource pool where some of the best staple cards are common, but still having the opportunity to get holo cards, interesting mechanics and things like that when you get booster packs. So you should be able to play with a deck consistently, do well, and enjoy the game and have some of the more staple cards. But you still have that opportunity to really reach out, get booster packs, get fun collectible stuff, maybe alternate artwork.
Yeah.
Just things like that are enjoyable rather than winning because you're buying booster packs.
Exactly. That's the big thing here, especially with the culture change. But you already showed me quite a few prototypes, which I'll show right now. And I'll even show Charmakards Volume 1 when it was first came out, which is no longer Charmakards, but it has the same look, kind of the same vibe, inspiration. We did sell that for a while, actually. It didn't move quite a bit, but people were interested, and they're like, wow. So I think you changing it, not only to Cornovum, but kind of easing away from the biblical religious side, but still incorporating it is the smartest thing that I've seen, because it doesn't separate anybody, and it still gives you that free will to enjoy a game without any outside opinions or any outside liability. Because I mean, that's a big thing now in the card community, is that like everybody has a problem with something. So but you're going to recognize in the future, I'm sure, that you will have problems. You will
for sure. You will deal with that. There's always going to be somebody that's upset at something, whether it's me, what I do, what the game does, how the art is, or any number of things. But it's definitely been cool, because like different areas are doing really well. Like Columbus is starting to do really well. Nice. Columbus, Ohio. And part of it has been not trying to justify in some sense that, it's non-religious, it's okay, but also not trying to get them on the fact that it's biblical, but get them on the fact that this is a really good game. And I'm not just tooting my own horn, because I'm really careful about that. But I've had, I think it's like less than 2% of people that have tried it at cons and events and stuff have walked away and not continued playing after that.
And that's incredible. That's what I wanted to touch on too, was the mechanical aspect behind it. Because I asked you before the podcast, I was like, how does this work mechanically? Is it consistent mechanically? You have, explain one of your cards for a second. Just, explain,
So Death. It's one of the 4 horsemen. So it has 2 numbers on it. It has a health and attack, right? So it has 5 health and it has 9 attack. And then it has an ability. So the ability on this is that you can discard a card from hand and eliminate all of your opponent's cards in play of the same color. So it's like a once per turn board wipe kind of mechanic. And so each card, each creature has an ability. It has a health and attack. And your creature's damage stays through turns. So like if you get hit for 3, you have 3 damage on you. You've got 2 health left. And so you're trying to keep your creature in play up as long as possible and do as much damage as possible. And then when it dies, you get ready and you can choose the next creature you bring out, which I think is one of the cool things about the game, is you actually choose what your next creature is when the previous one goes to the grave.
That's a huge difference between games now too, is that you get to choose. So like if you really want to be strategic, I think that's where the biggest part of that comes in to play, is if you really want to be autonomous within your gameplay and be like,
absolutely,
that's the major factor. And I think that's what separates you from other TCGs right now. And along with that, I think your idea of decks and then building on those decks with expansion packs is brilliant, because you're still going to have booster packs. You explain, you'll probably do,
there'll still be,
you'll do a lower, distribution of those, but you're focused on the decks and perfecting those decks and those creatures,
right?
Which I think is brilliant. But aside from all that, let's look at the art. I want to show you guys his art. He not only does this completely from scratch, the dude does it on his computer that's touchscreen. He came in with his significant other,
Haley,
and she was telling me how he does all of it with his fingers on the touchscreen. And I'm showing you guys right now the arts from the videos I took before the cast. And I just have to give you so much props, dude, because
appreciate it.
That is so much skill. And I want to know what allowed you to obtain that skill to have such artistry.
Well, it's funny now, like that you mentioned it. It's so hard for me to draw with a pen on the screen now. Like I can only do it by finger. But like I did get this cool tablet thing where you can draw it on paper and it transfer digitally.
Oh, yeah.
And it gives you the line work and stuff. So that's been really cool. But I've just been blessed and fortunate enough to have plenty of downtime, so to speak, to practice my artwork in the last year especially, and just really hone in and watch. Dude, YouTube is amazing. Podcasts like these, just so good. Like just learning so many things about artwork and really just taking the time to learn and improve.
So you perfected that craft. So
not
only are you the creator of this game, you are the artist behind this game as well.
Right.
And that is incredible. If you guys are really looking at those arts, you're going to have to come in and see for yourself. And segueing into that is the announcement of the first ever pre-release event that is happening for Cornovum. You care to explain that?
Yeah, this Saturday, the 23rd.
23rd.
From, I believe, 1 to 4.
You might be watching this today on Saturday, or you might be watching it after, or you might be watching it whenever. But
yeah, is the pre-release. And so I have the Creation and Apocalypse decks for everybody. And this is different than what we generally see as a pre-release for trading card games. It is literally pre-release. Like, I'm doing Game Found fundraiser starting that night. So the cards like I showed you here, these are technically prototype cards. And so the way to get your hands on those, which for other games, I know people really like that. That's a really cool thing.
It's really collectability.
Yep. Is to be able to come and try the new decks out and just go through it kind of like round robin almost and just play the game, try the new cards, see what you like. And because the decks are pre-built, if you're just starting to learn, that's the perfect time to come in. You don't have to worry about your deck building skills or anything like that. And then that night is when I'm going to be dropping and releasing the fundraiser for it, because I'm trying to raise all the money we can get to get this as far as we can get it, and really give back to the people that help support it and give them things that only, day one, year one sort of people can get.
Yeah.
And especially here at Immortals, this is like by far my favorite shop.
That's admirable. We appreciate that utmost. And I'll put this in there for you guys. If you come here to this pre-release on Saturday, and if you do well, or can you win it?
Oh yeah.
So if you win
I'll have
it,
placement.
If you win it, I don't know if this is cool with you. We're doing this on the spot.
All right.
You will get a prototype card to keep with you if you win it.
Yeah.
Do you like that idea?
I like that. I'm down.
Are you cool with that? I'll delete this.
I can do that.
I'll delete this if not.
I can do that.
I'll delete it if not.
How about instead of one card, just the whole deck?
The whole deck.
Just get the whole deck.
You're feeling that?
Yeah.
You heard it first. So if you come here this Saturday, the 23rd, and you play, what time does it start?
1, I believe, 1 to 4.
1 o'clock. You can come anytime between 1 to 4. But if you want to compete and you want to get that spot, your prototypes right here, because I see this game flourishing. You're a great dude. You always come here. You're very hospitable. You know what you're doing. Maybe not with Charmakards, but with Cornovum, dude, you know what you're doing, and I could see the advance in everything between illustration, execution, distribution, all of it. You've done your part, and you could see, if you guys want to come in the store and check it out, we have the original Charmakards deck boxes that are not for sale, unless they are.
I think some are for sale and some were specifically to show, because
that's up to you.
Sleeves.
But either way, I'll show you guys them. I'll show you the art from then to now. We'll have more podcasts with Jeremiah in the future. And I want to thank you for coming in today, dude.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so
nice.
I'm going to put all of his links in the description, and come here Saturday. We'll do more events with him in the future. I'm sure that he'll set up more events to do more open play. I know we do streams and stuff like that, so we'll do some streams. And yeah, dude, proud of you, proud of all your success, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
Thanks, man. Me too. Absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching. If you want to join us, we are now enrolled with YouTube. You could join our tier subscription service. We have 3 tiers. I think it's Hero, Vigilante, and a True Immortal. True Immortal is $30 if you really want to get that, once a month Immortal apparel on top of your subscription. Or you could do the $3.99. Or I think it's $2.99, $3 for your tier 1. But either way, thank you guys for the support, and we're out of here.